Simple Solutions, lesson number 45. Number 1, shade in 2/10 of the fraction model. Write this fraction as a decimal. Each of these is tenths. We'll shade in 2 of them. And as a decimal, it would look like that. Number 2, an equilateral triangle is a special isosceles triangle with 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles. The equilateral triangle is B. Number 3, to write 10 to the 5th power, you would write it out 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 5 times, and your answer would be 100,000, 1 with 5 zeros. In order to figure out number 4, you have to find a common denominator. And the way you do that is you're going to list each denominator and each of their multiples. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and then 10, 20, 30, 40, and so on. And you have to find the least common multiple. The multiple they both have in the smallest one, and that is 10. So now you're going to change each of these fractions so your denominator is 10. You also have to change the numerator. So 5 times what is 10? Well, I know 5 times 2 is 10. And up here I'll do 4 times 2, which is 8. So my equivalent fraction for 4/5 is 8/10. Now 10 times 1 is 10, and 3 times 1 is 3. Now I can add my fractions. 8 plus 3 is 11, and we'll keep the denominator the same, 11/10. Now we know that's an improper fraction, and we can turn it into a mixed number, 1 and 1/10. Number 5 is a division problem. I'm just going to do the traditional way for long division. If you use the area model, that's great, and if you want to know more about that, you can talk to your teachers. But for now, we're just going to use the original. So I see that 2 can go into 12 about 6 times, so that's what I'm going to try over here first. What is 21 times 6? And that is 126. So I'm going to say 21 goes into 1,260. I'm going to start with 6 times. 6 times 21, I already did that. It's 126. I subtract and get 0. Bring down my 0. 21 goes into 0 times. And 0 times 21 is 0. And subtract. So your answer is 60. Number 6. If, you can see this angle here, if DEF is a straight angle, and we know this is 112 degrees, what is the measure of angle Z? Well, I know that a straight angle is 180 degrees, and I'll subtract 112, which we already know. And I get Z equals 68 degrees. For number 7, first you have to solve 36 divided by 9, which is 4, times 54 divided by 6, which is 9, and your answer is 36. Number 8, which is a right triangle? In a right triangle, you're looking for the triangle that has a right angle, and your best answer is A, because there's your right angle. So number 8 was A. Number 9. Choose the numerical expression that represents dividing 1,160 by 2 and then multiplying by 7. Your answer is B. Number 10, you had to round to the nearest hundredth. The 5 is in my hundredths place. We know the 6 tells the 5 to bump up and turn to a 6. Everything before that stays the same. Number 11, you have to find the length of the line to the nearest centimeter and millimeter. As you can see, that line is 5 centimeters, and we want to convert it to millimeters. So we're going to write King Henry doesn't usually drink chocolate milk. We're starting at centimeters. We're going over one place to millimeters. So we'll move the 5 over the decimal over one place. So we know it's 5 centimeters or 50 millimeters. Number 12. Choose the numbers that are multiples of both 4 and 6. So I'm going to write my multiples of 4 and 6, which are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I'll stop there. Multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and I'll stop there. So my options are 24, 30, 18, or 12, and I'll look over here at what I just wrote. I see that 12 is a multiple of 4 and 6, and so is 24. So that's your answer, 24 and 12. Number 13, estimate first, then find the exact quotient. Well, I see 29 and 5/10. I would round that to 30. Divided by 2 and 5/10, I would round that to 3. And I know that 30 divided by 3 is 10. So that's my estimated answer. Now, when you divide a decimal by a decimal, you have to move your decimal point over one time in your divisor to make it a whole number, and move it over one time in your dividend to make it a whole number. So now you have 295 divided by 25. I know that 25 goes into 29 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. Now subtract. I get 4. Bring down my 5. 25 can go into 45 one time. 1 times 25 is 25. I subtract, and I get 20. Now, there can't be a remainder in a decimal, so what we have to do now is add a 0 after the decimal point and bring our 0 down. And I know that 25 goes into 200 8 times. 8 times 25 is 200. I subtract and get 0. Finally, I bring my decimal point straight up. So my exact answer is 11 and 8/10. Number 14, 63 times 72. 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times 6 is 42. Plus 2 is 44. We add. Your answer is 4,536. Number 15, comparing decimals. I see in my ones place the 7 is the same, so I go to my tenths place. I have a 0 here and an 8 here, so I know that 7 and 8/10 is greater. And number 16, Marcus wants to compete in a spelling bee. Each day he adds the same number of words to his mastery list. Complete the table to show how many words Marcus will master by day 5. You look at your table, you can see the pattern here. On day 1, he had 4 words mastered. Day 2, he had 8. Day 3, he had 12. So he is adding 4 words every day. So on day 4, he would have 16 words mastered. And on day 5, he will have 20 words mastered.